just found a box, and I took the contents out. One of the things are the original instructions for the, what is it, Vic-20, using the 3K and 8K memory expanders. The 3K was the Vic-1210. The 8K was the Vic-1110. Caution. When you plug or unplug the Vic-20 1210 from your computer, please make sure the power is off. Makes good sense. Please do not touch the card edge. Please make sure that nothing attaches to the card edge. Please do not drop it. A notification to Vic-1210 will void the warranty. Oh, the Commodore warranty. Anyway, this, and it has, I didn't realize this, there are dip switches to change the memory locations. Well, I'm going to put this, I have a bin down here with books and papers and things. I'm going to put that down there. Now, here is what was in the box. First, I will start with this thing, because I have no clue what this is, except that this is the top. So this would go onto the user port. It would. It has a long ribbon cable. In the midst of it is like a joystick port connector, but it's bigger than a joystick port connector, maybe because they didn't have such a connector, or maybe on whatever this goes on, it had a wider connector, but it only has the pins as if it was a Commodore joystick port connector. And over here, a Commodore joystick port connector with the right number of pins. And what is this? Ribbon cable, 2 joystick connectors. I have never seen such a thing before. It looks, well, it might have been made by a hobbyist person, or, you know, there was a lot of things that came even from Commodore that didn't look the most professional. So what does this do? I don't know. It could possibly, maybe, be something to go to with a cartridge for diagnostics, but you know, the harnesses I've seen are not like this. So anyway, if you have any clue what this thing is, please let me know. I'm going to very carefully put that in the box with things. Now, this is simple. This is a power cord, but unfortunately, I don't know what it was wrapped with, but there is residue. It doesn't mean it doesn't work. It's just a shame that when this was wrapped up, and maybe it was with electrical tape, or maybe it was some other tape, but every little way along here, there is a rough spot. Which, it doesn't mean the cable doesn't work, but when you're wrapping cords, don't use things that are going to make the cables gross. So I'm sure this works. I'm going to toss it in the bucket. There's also here a serial cable with the same affliction. Now this one, if I pick at carefully, I can kind of get the slime. It looks like it's probably tape remnants. Anyway, if you're going to wrap up cables, be careful, because eventually tape and other things do degrade. Ooh, look at that. I don't know if you can see that, but that, see, this is something I could never, like, I suppose I could give that to somebody, but I could never think of shipping that somewhere and saying, hey, way to go, have a good time. So this is probably the cable that I will keep. Like I get rid of anything anyway. Here, this is a non-Commodore serial cable for a disk drive. It is thinner, and it is longer. I would suspect it's about 6 feet, and especially with printers, sometimes you didn't always have the printer sitting right close by. So it was not a bad thing. And now we have some power supplies. Now, it does not smell like it has had bad things happening to it. And so, I believe I will plug it in and unplug this. It's a Commodore 64. Actually, you don't really. I suppose I should really test it on a 64 because I did muse earlier that, you know, there are 2 voltages in here, but the Vic only really uses 1. Alright, we're off. Well, at least I'll know one thing. Ooh, wait a second. Do I have this plugged in? I do have this plugged in. Alright, I see. No LED. The power bar is on. I have a failure. Right, so that is in. That's off. No light. Alright. Hold on there. Let's just trace things back. This, oh yeah, this one I can tell. It's a little bit warm, so it has been plugged in as I've been doing things here. No light. And look at that. Wow, okay, so, unfortunately, I'll just check the plug here. We do. What is that? We do seem to have a dead power supply. Now, how do I make sure that I don't do stupid things with this? And if it's dead on the Vic, it's certainly going to be dead on the 64. So I am going to put a knot in each end of this cable. If I could just do that. Must have been a slip knot. And I should mark this. Alright, so I have marked the bad power supply as being dead. I did put it temporarily in that box, but it's marked. And I have tied 2 knots in the cord. Anyway, back to something more interesting. When I first got a Commodore 64, this is the kind of power supply that came with it. This is not the epoxy brick. This, if I felt like it, from what I remember, and I see the holes, I could take a screwdriver and open it up and have a look. I could. Mind you, it's a shock hazard, do not open. And it is the same, 5 volts, 9 volts, it's beautiful. Anyway, this is, from what I know, the original type of power supply that came with the silver label machines back when they first appeared on the Canadian and I suppose other frontiers. Yeah. Does it work? Excellent question. I would like to think it does. I really hope it does. Because somewhere, I suspect I do have a Still hunting for my original machine and hunting for my original power supply. This is not it, I'm pretty sure, because I've not found, I'm sure they're together somewhere. Anyway, here is an original power supply. Oh. Alright, now, one thing occurs to me to try, because I am plugging in. I know it makes no difference. But I'm plugging into the same plug as what I plugged into before, and it is rare that the plugs on a power bar could be defective. Nothing. No. Okay. Oh, I so wanted this to work. Okay, I've switched the plugs, and now I will switch this back. Okay, and this works. And that does. So, well, that's disappointing. But maybe there was a reason that they switched these, or switched the epoxy. Now, I could at some point open this up and see what I can find. And perhaps I will. It would make still, if it was going to go into a behind the glass museum thing, it would be a fine example, because it is very clean, of an original power supply. But to be working, no. Did. But because this is got screws, I can check it. I'm not going to do it right now. I have put 2 knots in the cord. Oops. To signify that it is indeed not working. And I have marked it dead. I will put it in the box. Now this is not going well for power supplies. I'm wondering, this one, as I look at it, it is for, ooh, heavy. It's another Commodore 128 power supply. I wonder if what I've stumbled on is a box of dead things. I don't know. But I would like to think not, although so far we tried to, and 2 have failed. So, and I do have the Commodore 128 I was testing things with handy here. Excuse me. I should really, oh, and I have done this before, I should really get a power bar of some sort up on the table here. Are we in? We're in. And there's my documentation. Okay, so the Vic-20 is working. I am thinking that what I have here is a box of bad power supplies. Why would they not be marked as bad? Well, I don't know. I just don't know. I'm always leery of plugging something in. I'm just going to turn this one on. Yeah, I see nothing. Oh, good. There's no real point doing anything else. And you see nothing, nothing, nothing. So, yes. Did. Now, does that mean it's a fuse? November 2019. Did. 128. I don't know. This one too has got a fuse thing right here. I wonder if this little screwdriver will open it. Oh yeah. You know what? The fuse is indeed blown. Let me see here. Am I brave? I suppose I am. What is that thing? Alright, maybe it's a good thing I opened this, because inside this there's something, but I don't think it's a fuse. Maybe I should not be trying this. Maybe I should. Maybe it is a fuse. Well, and why did the fuse blow? Am I about to ruin this machine? Ugh. Let's see what happens here. Well, I still plugged in. Alright, I am still plugged in. And nothing is happening. This almost looks like a pencil or something. Who knows? Alright. I'm going to put this back in only because then I'll know what's what. So I think I'm going to stop there and ponder.